Hello, welcome back to the We're Not From Hollywood podcast. I'm Brandon Reines.
I'm Faizel Jama, and today we have actor, producer, boom operator, Jeffrey J. Scott.
Don't
How
forget
you
actor.
Actor, director, writer, producer, and I do the whole gamut.
doing? Nice.
Yeah.
Which one's your favorite?
Um, well, my two films that I have out directing, I think I did okay. Um, I kind of like acting. I like being in front of the camera and even in the background sometimes, you know. So it's like whatever the mood is at the moment, but I just prefer acting. I think I have a different realms of acting as far as like different characters that I could do and stuff like that. And actually, acting isn't what I was supposed to do. When I started this 12 years ago, I wanted to do voiceovers,
Oh.
but I couldn't get voiceover work. Every time I tried doing voiceover, I got to the set and they said, "Hey, how would you like to act in this?" So I went from voiceover to acting. Every time I go into voiceover, I get pushed back into acting.
And
So I guess acting is the route I'm supposed to take.
you were in Grotesque, right? And
I was
Grotesque.
in, no, I wasn't in Grotesque one. I was in Grotesque two. Um, and that was fun to do because I've never been to that part of Canada. I grew up on the East Coast, so I'm more familiar with Toronto and Montreal and all that stuff. So going up to Edmonton was really a nice change.
Different.
It was different. I enjoyed it. I tell you, you guys got a beautiful country up there, you know.
Oh yeah.
And I just enjoy going up there to Canada, even if it's just for visiting and stuff. So,
And you actually
but
have the honor of being the first guest on our show to not be from Edmonton. Jeff's actually from Arizona, and
mhm.
he was a big fan of Grotesque, and he actually drove up here just to be in the movie. I don't think anyone else has shown us that level of dedication to want to be in a movie that bad. I was quite shocked when I found out. I was like, someone's willing to do that? Like, it was great. Like, you got to hang out there for a few days or a week, however long you were out. You got to visit the set and you got to travel around. And it was, we can't wait till you come back for the next one.
How
Well,
long does that drive take you?
this is one of the nice things about being retired and single and free and having not pets, no pets and stuff is you get to do whatever you want when you want to do it.
How long does
So,
that drive take you?
um, I take my time when I come up. I try and do like 5 hour stints. So it takes me about maybe 4 days,
Hmm.
but sometimes it takes longer because I like to do stops along the way. So I just travel around and sightsee as well. So I'm doing two things. I'm going up to the film and then I'm sightseeing for the US and Canada. So,
Any particular sites you saw that were like because there's quite a lot of sites actually now that I think about it, between Arizona and Edmonton.
well, yeah, there was a lot of things like I have to go through Vegas, but one of the things I want to do this year on the way up, um, if I come up this year, is I want to go through Bryce Canyon and Zion National Park in the States. And then a friend of mine who you know, Todd Chamberlain, I told him that I wanted to do a little sightseeing up there. And he actually gave me a route to take from Calgary. You go to the left, go west, and you go past Lake Louise and Jasper and Banff and stuff like that. And you do like a circle all the way around, and then you wind up in Edmonton.
Oh yeah, okay, okay.
So I might do that next time I come up or on the way back, depending upon, you know, how I do it. But I've just seen pictures of Banff, I believe it's called.
Yep, yeah,
And
man.
that's a beautiful little town, you know. And so that's what I plan on doing. But I'll tell you the story of how I got involved in all this if you want to hear it.
Please,
Yeah.
I was gonna ask.
Okay. I'm a horror fan and I like watching horror movies and horror comedy and stuff. So I actually watched Grotesque. And that's when I saw Elizabeth acting. And me as an actor for 12 years now, I was just so amazed at her talent that I said, I got to work with this girl. So it turned out I had a couple scenes together in a film called Cursed Waters, which is directed by Adam Wurst and part of the Mall brothers. So we got to do a couple scenes together, and that's when I met her father, Todd. And we just became good friends after that. And then I got to work with her in another project. And then I heard about Grotesque too. So I got involved with that.
Yeah, and I remember so when that all came about, like we had the script written and I think we might have even been like in production already. And then we
Yeah.
heard he wanted to be involved. So Todd's like, think you like, is there any way we could give him a scene in the movie and like have him get killed by Mildred somehow? I was like, oh, like how do we shoehorn something in here? And then we came up with the idea that, I don't want to ruin it, but people will find out when they see the movie. We figured out a way to work you in and give you a memorable scene, even though it's not that long. It's quite a memorable scene in the movie.
And actually, Todd is in the same scene.
Oh yeah, he is too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool. I got to work with both of them.
So what got you involved with like what made you pick voice acting, Jeffrey? Like that's not usually the first thing people pick when they decide to go into entertainment. Usually they're like, I'm gonna be an actor or a director.
Well, people like when I was growing up, not growing up, but when I got older and stuff, and I would talk to people, whether it be at a party or a function or whatever, and they're like, you got a good voice. You should do voiceover work. So that's what sparked it in my head to try and pursue that aspect. Because hey, there's been some great voiceover people in the past,
Amazing. It's an
and
underrated art.
it is. And voiceover not only for like maybe like dubbing in foreign films and stuff, but I always wanted to get involved in the animation aspect of voiceover, you know. And I kind of think the best part about voiceover work is you don't have to worry about wardrobe, you don't have to worry about weather. You go into the studio and you're in front of a screen and you get to do as many takes as you want. So that is what kind of got me into the voiceover mindset. But like I said, I just got pushed back into acting. And over the 12 years, I've been on so many film sets and I've met so many great actors, known and up and coming and stuff like that. And it's just been a great experience. Have I made a lot of money? No, not really. But at least I had fun doing it.
You
Yeah.
get like, especially now, it's so much like the technology just makes it so you can email a voice clip over and you're like, here you go, take it, you're done with.
Yeah.
I've never
Nice,
grown
because
up.
that gives us a chance. Like we can work with someone in the US without having to worry about how they're going to get up here and worrying about visas and other
Mm.
issues. It's like, hey, just record your voice, film yourself on your phone, and then email the footage or the voice. Like it's there's a lot you can do.
Yeah, and it's done. So, but I am looking forward to working with you guys again. Out of all the people that I've worked with, cast wise and crew wise, you guys are the most fun, and you've treated me so good when I come up there. And you guys are a lot of fun to hang out with.
Do you like horror as an actor as well as a movie watcher, or do you prefer like what kind of roles do you like to go for?
Oh, I definitely like horror films. And here's a funny thing is I'm prior military. All right. So I was in the Air Force and I'm a retired police officer. So these are two things that I'm really experienced in. Okay. You think I can get a role as a military guy or a cop? No.
Yeah, of course not.
I have to do my own films, put myself in it to be a cop.
So what was
Yeah.
it like filming your movies? It was Loveland, and what was the other one? The PC, was it called?
The PC, yeah.
PC.
Yeah.
Tell us about your experience shooting those.
Basically, what led up to it is after being on film sets and stuff and being in the holding areas and stuff like that, and then being on the set and watching different people do their jobs like lighting, sound, director, the script reader and stuff like that. I'm watching and I said, you know what? I could do this. So I decided to write a script and I picked some cast members. A lot of the cast members are either people that I went through acting school with that I knew, or a lot of the background people in like the bar scenes were friends of mine. And I just, hey, you want to be in my film? And they're like, yeah, sure, no problem. So we did a lot of it in New Jersey, where I was from locally. The director of both those films, Joe Schufrieder, excellent director. He came in from PA to do it. He did the excuse me, not director, the cinematographer. he did the camera work. Everybody else was local, and I just decided to give it a try, you know.
What's
And it is what it is. People may like it, may not like it, and you can't please everybody,
no, of course not.
you know. So, but anyway, yeah, the Loveland, we filmed it at a camp that I used to go to when I was a kid, and I knew the owner, so we got to do a lot of the filming up there. The bar scene was the bar that I used to hang out at in West Milford, so I knew the owner there, and they're a great couple. Had fun there, and the PC is about believe it or not, it stands for the professional cuddler, and that's actually a profession. There are
Yeah, I've heard
women.
about
There
that.
is,
Yeah.
yeah, surrogates.
So so I just turned her into a female serial killer.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, those two films are on Amazon. So, and it was a good experience, and Brandon might appreciate this. Is you learn a lot when you do these films, and you learn from your mistakes. And there are certain things that I've done that I probably wouldn't do again.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a learning process. But
Well, you never make a movie that's without mistakes. I always think, I feel like I got an idea of what I did wrong and I can do it right in the next one. And I'll do everything right, but I'll make another mistake. And I'm like, damn
Yeah.
it, next time I gotta
oh
remember
yeah,
that.
yeah, it's a learning experience each film, you know.
It's a constant learning experience. I'm not, yeah, it's a beautiful thing to be involved in because I always learn where my shortcomings are every day.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
it's one of those things too where like even if you screw it up, even if it doesn't turn out very good, even if you never make another movie, it's still kind of like a milestone in your
You
life.
made a
And
movie.
you committed to something and you made something cool. Like
Yeah.
not many, a lot of people talk about it. It's kind of like writing a novel. A lot of people say they're going to do it one day and they never get around to it. So the fact that you came up with the idea, you started it and you finished it and you released it, you're like
And you did it
99% of
twice.
people it won't get that far. So um but yeah, like it's, and even looking back, even when I look back on like Hot Box or something, it's still pretty good. People like it, but
Yeah.
all I see is like, man, like if I had made that now, it would have just been like so much better because I have that much more experience. But even guys, even like Spielberg, people have been at it for decades. They still make a movie that sucks that everyone hates. Like, so you're never guaranteed to. It's not like you get to a point and you don't screw up. Like you're always going to be things go wrong. That like there's so many variables involved that you can't win every time. So it's kind of an exciting business to be in because you never know what to expect and coming out, and you never know, you might like it, but the audience might hate it.
I think what it is too is I had learned a lot. One of the main things I learned from doing my two films is if you watch either film or if you watch both films, you see that a lot of people in one are in the other. And I actually did both films at the same time.
How? Back to back or like
That one, no, like
together?
like one weekend we'll do the something from the Loveland, and then the following weekend we'll do something from the PC.
Oh,
And it was like, I did both films at the same time.
How long
And
did that take you?
it took me, God, I think the total it took 6 weeks.
Of weekends?
A week. Yeah, basically, well, no, hold on. Eight weekends because people work during the
Yeah,
week,
of course.
And I had a couple of my actors coming in from the city, so I'd have to transport them to the hotel for the weekend and stuff like that. And that was one of the other things I did too. And I guess I'm okay doing it is I didn't ask for any financial support because I figure if I'm going to do this, let me do this on my own. If it fails, it's on me. I don't disappoint the people that would have funded it and stuff like that. So that was the other thing I learned too, is it just gets expensive.
Oh man, I remember my first real big education was I just made my first feature film for like 10 grand, 12 grand or something like that, some
Yeah.
ridiculously low amount. And I was talking to my cinematographer and I was like, I think we should try and hit the next film. And like, I'm gonna try and put together like 60 grand to do it. And he was like, I'll tell you what, I can spend 60 grand in a day. And he broke down like the things we would need to like do that. And
Yeah.
sure enough, it was 60 grand a day. And I was like, God damn it.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is I know a lot of people depend on people to come up to act, and not really get paid for it and stuff. But I paid everybody. I paid my background people. I paid my main actors. I paid everybody, and that's a big chunk too. So, and actually, a lot of the people that I hired, like the bartender in Loveland, okay, her name is Wednesday. Really nice girl. She's actually the bartender there.
Oh,
And,
really?
and
Hey,
I figure if you're going to hire a bartender, use a
hire a
bartender.
bartender.
And she's actually the manager of the bar up there, and she's a really nice person. We had so much fun working together. So it was pretty cool.
So what do you have on the horizon?
Absolutely nothing at this time. I am just chilling out. I just got back from the big road trip. We talked about that the other day, and I'm just relaxing a little bit for now. I do have something coming up in December, believe it or not, filmed locally, so I don't have to travel. But it's kind of like a sci-fi comedy horror type
Oh,
thing. Yeah.
yeah, I was
So
gonna ask that. So that like you're in Phoenix, is that correct?
yes, yeah.
Is there like is there a big indie scene here like there is up here, or like what kind of projects are going on down there?
Um, there is a big indie film scene going on down here. We just had a film festival last year, of a lot of independent filmmakers, and I haven't really heard much of anything opening up right now. But there are things being done out there, and it's like when I did my two films, I used the people that I work with, or that I knew. And a lot of indie people, and I've noticed this too with people in acting in like plays and stuff like that, is there's a group and you have to be accepted into that group. And I haven't gotten into that part down here yet. When I was back home in Jersey and doing a lot of work in the city, like for student films and all that, I would get called by the students
Connecting
all
with
the
people.
time for stuff, you know. So it's just connection right now, and I haven't really been here long enough to make those contacts yet. Hence, that's why I went to the film festival to try and meet some other people and hand out business cards and all that stuff. So, but that's how it goes. You just go play it by ear.
You got to jump into the pool and just like start meeting people, and eventually you're just like, all right, now I'm here. And then like 2 years later, you're like entrenched in it, and you can't get rid of these goddamn people.
Well, yeah, that's how I like when I first decided to do this. I just went to some of the Edmonton filmmakers group. They used to meet like every 2 weeks at a Starbucks on White Ave. So I just went there, met a couple people, and was like, "Hey, let's do something." I volunteered on someone's set. Then I kind of just picked a few of the good people, and then 7 8 years later, look where we are now, right?
Yeah,
I know a lot of people, but it just takes like just meet a couple people, start working with them, and then slowly start drawing other people into your network, and then you can achieve great things.
Oh yeah.
well, you got a great crew up there. You really do.
Yeah, I can't really compare it because I've never done this anywhere else.
Yeah,
But yeah, like I mean the people we work with like are phenomenal. They're great at what they do. They're great people to work with. I would hate if I just I had to move away to some other city and kind of start over. Like I would just miss these guys so much.
yeah. I don't blame you. I don't
Yeah.
blame you.
You develop those relationships, and then they become part of your life essentially, and like they're your friends. And then yeah, I can't imagine moving away. Which is funny. Like when I first got here, I was not a fan of Edmonton. Like it was too cold for me. It was too like wet, and like at this point though, I can't imagine moving away.
Yeah.
Where did you come from?
I grew up in East Africa,
Oh,
Tanzania,
okay.
so
All
like
right.
complete opposite of Edmonton.
No, come on, it's not that different.
So what do you find? Are there any similarities you find in your three careers? I get as a military man, as a policeman, and as a filmmaker. Anything in there that you would be like these? That's what's across these three things.
One of the things that I liked doing, like being plus when I was in the Air Force, I was base police and I used to wear K9. So I had a dog with me and stuff.
Nice.
And one of the things that I really enjoyed about the Air Force work and the police work and the film work is you're not behind a desk. You're out there in the field, you're out there working with people, different, it's just every day is different.
Every day it's something new. There's a problem that pops
Exactly.
up that's got to be
You
solved
know,
every day.
you don't go sitting into an office in front of a screen all day typing in numbers and stuff like that. That would drive me crazy, you know. And I just like being out there and stuff. So that was one of the similarities between the three jobs.
Yeah, I always
So
say like going out and there obviously there's a certain level of stress with making a movie and that kind of stuff, but when you really kind of step back and think about it, like it's probably the funnest job you could have. It's like there's nothing else I would rather do. Even jobs that pay more, it's like, I can make good money as a doctor, but it's like, man, like it's it ain't fun, right? It just I'm a different kind of person, I guess. But especially like on Grotesque too, just the atmosphere we had, especially shooting that camp stuff.
Oh my
It's
God.
like no one in the world right now is having as much fun as we are. And
We
it's like
got it.
I
it's
I'm I missed that part because I think you filmed that the week before I got up there.
yeah,
Oh,
we
I'm
that was the
sorry
first
you
thing we
did.
shot.
And I watch clips of it like on Facebook and stuff, and I'm like, God, that reminds me when I was a kid at camp, because
It was. That's what I keep saying. It was
oh
adult
my
summer
God,
camp. It was
it
brilliant.
was so much fun.
And we're
But
making a movie. And honestly, like again, to your credit, Brandon, I think I mentioned this last time. Like it was when I rarely felt like I could show up and just kind of like give up control to someone else and go be
mhm.
a maniac, know my lines. I'll show up, I'll do my lines, and then I'll go be a maniac. Like I very rarely felt like that, but like you kept that train humming along smooth.
That's
Ray
one
said
thing
not to do
that's one thing I've noticed about Brandon when he directs and stuff. There's always a timeline that you have to keep within, and a lot of directors can't do that. And Brandon, I think you do very well with that.
that. Oh, thank you.
You keep that pace going, and you get what you want done in that day. And it's just a
And you don't tax your crew too much either. You don't like push them
yeah,
over the edge. You get it done and you get it done within a reasonable amount, I feel like.
yeah.
Oh, thank you. Well, I
You
got
can
my
pat
ego
yourself
boost
on the
for
back.
the
Yeah,
interview.
exactly.
So
He's
what else you
blushing.
guys want to know?
Where were you a police officer at in New Jersey as well?
Yeah, when I was in the Air Force, I was luckily enough, I was stationed in well, when you go into the service, you fill out when you're in basic training, you fill out a dream sheet of places you want to go.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and well, that's how we did it in the Air Force. And I wanted to go to either Florida, Hawaii, or California. So the two bases that I got were RAF Mildenhall in England, cold, wet weather. And the second base I had was Plattsburgh, New York, Plattsburgh Air Force Base up near Lake Champlain. That's what happened with that. So I wasn't in the greatest of locations as far as weather goes. But
Because were you
compared
always
to
from
New
New
Jersey,
Jersey?
huh?
Were you
Pardon?
always from New Jersey? You were
I
born.
grew up yeah, I was born and bred in New Jersey and lived there pretty much all my life.
All right, and then you moved out to Plattenburg.
I went into the service after it was hard getting a job back in the 70s as a cop because there was a lot of special interest groups that were chosen to be police officers. Um, Vietnam vets were one, of course, they get preference. Um, then there was the push for equal
Affirmative
um,
action.
affirmative action. So it went from Vietnam vets, minority, female, and I didn't fit any of those three.
No.
So I was way at the bottom. Okay, so I just decided, you know what, if I'm going to be a cop, let me go in the service and do it, and that's what I did. So and then came out, did some odd jobs here and there, and then eventually I wound up on the police department in North Jersey called Kinnelon Police, Kinnelon Borough.
And how long did you do that for?
16 and a half years.
Oh wow, jeez.
Yeah,
Were you like no? You weren't a desk job, I assume. You were like out like walking.
I was always on the road.
Damn.
I
No,
was
you
always
must have
on.
seen some crazy stuff over those years.
You know what? Kinnelon was a nice town.
Yeah.
It was rural. There weren't a lot of businesses and stuff like that, so we were more of a residential town. Our big problems that we had there, believe it or not, were domestics, criminal mischief, and drugs, and some shoplifting here and there.
Small town
So
problems. I'm
yeah,
familiar.
yeah, small time stuff. So it wasn't that bad of a place to work at all. It was very enjoyable.
And then you decided you were gonna make films.
No. Me and my wife at the time, we had met friends here in Phoenix that we knew over the years, and we came out and lived in Phoenix for about 10 years, no, 5 years, and then went back to Jersey and stuff like that. And then I started getting involved in filmmaking with. I started getting involved in student films because Rutgers in northern New Jersey had
Yeah.
a very good film program. So I met the film director of the school of the college, and um, I told her what I did and who I was, and she goes, "Send me a picture and a resume," and I did. And before you know it, I was getting called by students left and right to be in their films. So
Brilliant.
yeah, so that's how I got started with the film aspect, and then I started getting involved with films, student films in New York City between School of Visual Arts and New York Film Academy and all that stuff. So between that and then working in the city, I've worked in every borough of the city. So I know New York pretty well.
Like the back of your hand.
I could tell you which subway line goes where it ends, where it starts, and all that stuff. You know,
I'm seeing you when I come down there. You take me to where's the best places to eat. That's the information I need.
where in Phoenix?
And oh yeah, you're in Phoenix now. Yeah, what's
Yeah,
all right. Well, we gotta plan a New York road trip at one point.
I no.
Grotesque 2
All
screening.
right. Okay, no offense, New York, but I don't really plan on going back there anytime soon.
Not too crowded.
It's just getting crazy there.
I get, yeah, I can imagine. I don't even like. I only see it on Instagram and stuff, and I'm like, that looks like it's just people on top of people on top of people on top of people.
Yeah, well, not just that, but just the aspect of the criminal activity, and
Yeah, I can imagine.
people are just acting crazy. You know,
Yeah.
when I was in New Jersey, I took acting lessons. I went to acting school. John Pallotta was the coach. Really nice guy and stuff, and he's very accomplished in his teachings. And I used to take the bus into Port Authority from New Jersey, and every time I would go to New York, it would just change. It would just be so different, and I just really, I don't know. I like working in Phoenix, and I like working up in Canada, and I like working out in California, and I don't mind driving places. But yeah, I really have no ambition to go back east.
I'll stay in Edmonton for where it's relatively safe for now.
Yeah,
Relatively.
yeah.
Some guy got shot outside of our building like last week, like middle of the
Really?
afternoon, like right outside our front door. Yeah.
Do you know what?
No,
Yeah.
I feel like we can get away with a little more here, though, by that virtue. Like, I feel like when we show up with our cameras and our mics and all our people and stuff, like, there's less of a commotion when we're around. We can kind of get away with a bunch of shit and get out of there before we really cause any, like, antennas to go up.
Yeah.
I thought you guys were really stricter with gun control up there.
Yeah.
Alberta is different.
No,
Alberta,
I think we're pretty damn strict compared to anywhere in the US.
fair
Okay.
enough. I
Yeah.
wasn't thinking about that.
You know, it was funny talking about acting and stuff. I did a short film for a student here in Arizona State University, and I played a bipolar father. And the end scene, I was yelling, and we shot it in the apartment where the person lives. And we shot it like 2 or 3 times, the end scene, and the woman next door came out to talk to the daughter and said, "Are you okay? Like we just want to make sure that you're not like being assaulted or anything like that." I figure, okay, well, I guess I did okay then.
Yeah, you must
Yeah,
convince somebody.
But that's something that I think I posted on my Facebook page. If you ever want to go and watch it and stuff, I may even post it again because I got permission from the student to do it.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, it was fun to do. I love working with the students because some of their minds are so abstract when it comes to filming. Like they got some great ideas going on up in their head.
Yeah, because it's still so that nothing's been defined yet. So it's like I can basically do whatever the hell, especially like down in the film school situation where they give you all the equipment and you're basically like, go nuts.
Yeah,
What you got to
yeah.
do.
And the other thing I like about working with the student films too is I worked with one group like 3 times, and there's like maybe a group of 5 or 6, and what they do is like one film, one person will direct, one person will do the lighting, one person will do the sound,
Just swap
and
it
then
around.
and then on the next film project they'll swap. And I thought that's a great way, number one, to learn to work together. And number two, everybody gets a chance on learning something about the film business. And I just think it's a great concept. And that's where I learned a lot too from being on student film sets.
All right, Jeff. Well, we're almost out of time here. It was awesome having you on, and we got our matching Mildred shirts on. And
I have to go too because I'm going to talk to a woman archaeologist friend of mine.
Ooh.
And yeah, and I always bust her chops because I always tell her, I said, women make the best archaeologists. And she goes, why is that? I said, well, because you guys like digging up stuff from the past. So she always hates when I say that, but
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for coming on. We'll have you back soon. And everyone should check out your movie, check out your IMDb site, and then watch your movies on Amazon.
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime,
guys.
yeah.
See you later.
All right, take care, guys. Thank you.
Yep. Bye.